The man who noticed the scene was not dressed like a hero. He wore a faded hoodie, worn boots, and jeans that carried the dust of long days. His shoulders were broad but slightly slumped, the posture of someone used to carrying more than groceries and memories. He was a single father, the kind who learned to braid hair with clumsy fingers and pack lunches before sunrise, the kind who learned to swallow his own exhaustion so his daughter could sleep peacefully. His name was Aaron Cole, though in another life it had been spoken with rank and respect, etched onto dog tags that now rested in a drawer at home beside crayon drawings and school photos. Aaron had promised himself a quiet life after the military. Years earlier, he had walked away from the sea and the violence, from the brotherhood and the blood, from the constant edge of survival. His wife had died young, leaving him with a daughter who became his entire universe. For her, he learned patience. For her, he learned gentleness. For her, he locked away the instincts that once made him dangerous. He told himself that the past was over, that the skills forged in darkness no longer had a place in the light. But the scream ripped through those promises without mercy. Across the street, 5 men circled a woman who had already been knocked to the pavement. Their laughter was sharp and careless, the sound of people who believed there would be no consequences. The woman tried to shield herself, but fear made her movements slow and clumsy. Beside her, the little girl looked toward the world with desperate hope, as if searching for one face that would change everything. When her eyes locked onto Aaron, something silent passed between them. It was not words. It was a plea older than language. "Daddy, please help her." Aaron felt his chest tighten in a way he had not felt in years. His first instinct was to look away, to tell himself it was not his fight, that calling for help was enough. But another instinct, buried deep beneath years of restraint, surged forward. It was the same instinct that had once carried him through chaos, the one that recognized injustice and refused to negotiate with it. His hands clenched, and in that second, the single dad disappeared, replaced by the man the ocean had once shaped. He crossed the street without running, each step deliberate, his senses sharpening as the world slowed. He took in details without effort, the weight distribution of the men, the way their attention was scattered, the uneven ground beneath their feet. He placed himself between them and the woman, not with words but with presence. The laughter faltered. Confidence wavered. Violence often feeds on certainty, and Aaron stripped it away simply by standing there. When the first blow came, it was sloppy and fueled by anger rather than skill. Aaron absorbed it, redirected it, and responded with precision that looked almost unreal. Years of training flowed through him like muscle memory waking from sleep. He moved efficiently, wasting nothing, his actions controlled but relentless. One man went down hard, then another, confusion spreading among the remaining 3 as fear began to seep into their bravado. They had expected an easy night. They had not expected a storm. The street became a blur of motion and breath. Aaron did not fight with rage. He fought with purpose. Each movement protected space, creating a barrier around the woman and child. He ended the threat quickly, decisively, leaving 5 men on the ground, stunned, broken, alive but thoroughly undone. The silence that followed was heavy, broken only by distant sirens and the woman's ragged breathing. Aaron knelt, checking the woman with care that contrasted sharply with what had just happened. She was shaken but conscious, bruised, but alive. The little girl clung to her, eyes never leaving Aaron's face. In them was awe, fear, and a gratitude too big for her to understand. Aaron felt something crack open inside him. He had not wanted to return to this part of himself, but here it was, undeniable and necessary. By the time authorities arrived, a small crowd had gathered. Phones were out, whispers spreading. Someone recognized the efficiency of the takedown, the way Aaron had moved. Questions followed, then answers, and those answers traveled faster than he expected. A former Navy SEAL. A single father. A quiet man who had stepped in when no one else did. Among those who heard was a Marine general visiting the city for a ceremony. The general had spent decades around warriors and could recognize one even in civilian clothes. When he arrived on scene, the air seemed to shift. His presence carried weight, not from authority alone, but from understanding. He approached Aaron not as an officer addressing a subordinate, but as one soldier acknowledging another. The general saw the exhaustion in Aaron's eyes, the restraint barely holding back years of discipline and sacrifice. He saw a man who had chosen love over violence, family over glory, and who had still been willing to stand when it mattered most. Their exchange was brief but profound, filled with respect that needed no performance. The general made it clear that Aaron's actions would not be forgotten, that bravery like this did not expire with discharge papers. News spread quickly. The story hit screens and feeds, framed as spectacle at first, then slowly reshaped by the truth beneath it. People learned about the single dad who packed lunches and attended parent-teacher meetings, who tucked his daughter in every night and whispered promises of safety he hoped he would never have to prove. They learned about the woman who survived because one man refused to walk away, and the child who would grow up believing that heroes do exist. Aaron struggled with the attention. He had never wanted recognition. He wanted quiet mornings, bedtime stories, and the ordinary miracles of raising a child. But he also understood that stories have power, and if his could remind people to care, to step forward instead of shrinking back, then maybe it was worth the discomfort. At home, his daughter watched him with new eyes. She did not fully understand what he had done, only that her father was someone others talked about in hushed, respectful tones. To her, he was still the man who burned pancakes and sang off-key in the car. That grounding love anchored him, reminding him why he had fought so hard to build a peaceful life. The woman and her child visited weeks later, bringing gratitude that filled the room with quiet emotion. Healing takes time, but hope accelerates it. The little girl hugged Aaron without hesitation, a small act that carried enormous meaning. In that moment, the past and present aligned, and Aaron felt something close to peace. The Marine general kept his word. Aaron was invited to speak at a small gathering, not to glorify violence, but to talk about responsibility, about choosing to act when it would be easier not to. He spoke simply, honestly, as a father first and a soldier second. The room listened, not because of his rank or history, but because truth resonates when spoken without ego. As time passed, the story faded from headlines, replaced by the next cycle of outrage and distraction. But its impact lingered in quieter ways. A bystander intervened somewhere else. A parent taught their child about courage. A veteran found renewed purpose. These ripples mattered more than fame ever could. Aaron returned to his routines, but something had shifted. He no longer saw his past as a burden to hide, but as a tool to wield responsibly. He taught his daughter about strength, not as dominance, but as protection. He taught her that helping others is not about being fearless, but about acting despite fear.